Ryan, great to have you here, man.
Always good to be here, man.
Dude, you are a true power player. I discovered you, I don't know. I think it was on Instagram.
Probably.
And you kept popping and you kept popping and you kept popping up. And I'm like, dude, I respect this guy. So I didn't know anything about you. I didn't really know what you were doing. And, I think the important thing for me to remember when I was watching you, one, I liked your content. I liked the colors. I liked the stuff you were doing with your hair. It got my attention.
Yeah.
But the thing that I respected the most, where you got my trust was because of the frequency. Like you were hitting. I said, oh, shit, okay. Bang, and boom, you hit again, and then again. And another one, as my friend DJ Khaled says. Another one. And I'm like, okay. In the first 3 or 4 times I saw you, I'm like, yeah, okay. And then I'm like, okay, this guy's real. He's serious. And then weeks went on and months went on. I'm like, okay, this is a real player. So, hey, man.
Yeah, appreciate you,
You're a true power player, dude. I
Thank you.
have massive respect for what you're doing and the way you're raising your family, your marriage, your operation in Vegas.
Yeah.
What you're doing, not just as an influencer, but also in social media, with education and with real estate.
Yeah.
So which one of those you want to start with first? What are you most passionate about at this very second?
I mean, obviously you do it all for family and faith and everything else. Like that's kind of like the end goal for everything. I think like social media and business and educate, those are all tools to further everything else. But yeah, I think to your point, social media was how you found me, and I think that that's how I found you.
Yeah.
It's like without social media, we're not here, and people aren't watching this. So I think it's such an important tool that people just kind of take for granted.
Yeah, you're how old?
34.
Okay, so you had a baseball career.
Yep.
I didn't know that, but then so that was cool. What position?
I was second base.
Okay, did you ever try to be a pitcher?
I pitched in high school, but
just not enough juice in the ball.
No, I was throwing about 85, and that was it.
That was all you could do.
Yeah.
So did you have a good arm, or they put you on second because you didn't have an arm?
I had a good enough arm to play other positions, but my arm wasn't accurate.
Okay.
So I needed to play second.
You couldn't accurately throw to first. Well,
no.
Only thing you could do is hit first base.
Hit first base.
Good glove, good bat. What did you have?
I had a good bat throughout college. I was D1.
Meaning what's D1?
Division I player. So I became an All-American my freshman year.
Oh, wow.
I was the conference freshman of the year. Then I led the conference in home runs and stolen bases my junior year.
Okay.
So I was hitting well. And then, I got into pro baseball, and pro baseball is a little bit different than college baseball.
Yeah, how so?
Well, one, you don't use metal bats anymore. You use wood bats. And so a lot harder to hit with wood. Your power kind of isn't what it used to be. So it was just a totally different game, and it's all worldwide at that point. You go from
they're pulling from
you're Dominicans, Colombians, like everybody, and so you go from thinking, oh, I'm the best person in my town, to I'm the best person like in the conference, to like, oh damn, I'm facing all these guys who literally do nothing but play baseball. This is different.
Yeah, and what'd you learn playing baseball competitively and at the college level and professional level? That you use today?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing you learn is discipline and frequency, like you said. It's like the best players are so consistent. Every day they show up. It don't matter how they feel. It don't matter how yesterday went, what the haters in the stands say.
Right.
Dude, they just show up to work. They do their thing. And that's why they're great.
How many, what professionals, 163 games a year?
162 in the big leagues.
Okay.
Yep. It's a lot of games.
Is that before, that's before championships?
Yeah. And that's not even counting spring training or, they'll play
so
200 games.
163 out of 365 days, that's probably more than most people work, right?
Yeah, it's half the year.
5 times 52, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
well, the crazy thing is, too, you play 162 games in like a 180-day period. So you get 1 or 2 days off a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Traveling.
You traveling every day.
And then how brutal are they at that level about replacing people if they're not hitting, they got hurt?
I mean, you're out like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got used to that mindset, right? Where it was very cutthroat and businesslike, and if you're not producing, there's somebody else who wants your spot. And I've definitely taken that to business where, I've told our employees, it's like, yo, we're part of a team and we want everyone to do great. We want to accomplish big goals,
Right.
but this is not like a family where you got to keep your family no matter what.
Yeah. You're stuck with your kids.
Your family is what
Until
it
they
is.
leave.
But your team, it's like the moment there's somebody better,
Right.
you're not cutting it anymore. Like you got to make a change.
Right. You got to hire and fire the way the MLB does.
Yeah.
So, Aaron Judd, how big was that deal he got? 100.
He got like 360 million.
Yeah. So I don't know if you saw that video I did on what he would do with his taxes.
Yeah.
And then I did it again on Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
So I did it on Aaron. I told Johnny the camera guy.
Yeah.
I said, look, we're going to do this video on Aaron, what he should do with his income to prevent him having taxes, and if he gets another deal, deferring all that with the depreciation. And I said, look, Johnny, there's no chance Aaron's going to see it, but his buddies will.
Yeah.
Other ball players will, other young
They're gonna
guys.
send it to him.
Well, we posted it, and literally A-Rod hits me, I don't know, 3 or 4 days after I posted it. I saw A-Rod in Beverly Hills at the Milken conference. And A-Rod says, had a video that you put up on Judd, he called me the next day and said, is this guy for real?
Yeah.
When you were in the game, what was your biggest salary as a professional?
Dude, so I was only in the minor leagues, so I was making nothing. I mean, I was making $1,200 a month playing in the minor leagues.
1,200.
1,200.
So you're funding who's taking care of where you live, your food?
We do. We still have to cover that.
Oh my God.
Dude, it's crazy. So
trainers, PT, or they take care of all that?
I mean, when you're in the season, like, yeah, they got the trainers and stuff, but in the off season, however you want to train is on you.
Recovery and all that.
You got to do it on your own.
Oh my God.
Dude, it's crazy. And that was how I got into business. Because,
in the hopes of becoming a superstar.
Yeah, and back then I got drafted in 2010, so that was what the minor leaguers made. And then if you got to the bigs, the minimum salary was like $500,000 a year, right? That was your first few years.
You make that every month now.
Yeah, it's crazy. And
right?
So
thank God you didn't make it.
I know, right? And I could do this forever,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, right.
So I ended up,
because at 34, you're getting to the end of your career in baseball now.
If you're lucky.
And you're really starting your career.
I'm starting my career. Yeah. So it definitely was a blessing for sure. But you look at it back then, when I was 21 when I got drafted, not making any money. And I'm like, I got to go and work and make money. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. But the problem was I couldn't get a job because nobody's going to hire you for 6 months out of the year.
Right.
So I was forced to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah. So what do those guys do? Like if they're not entrepreneurial, like are they selling cars, bagging groceries, working at Costco?
Yeah, most of them will do like baseball lessons. They're going to work at the batting cage or work for a high school team. But dude, I mean, most of these guys, if they could make like 10 grand in the off season, they were happy because that was going to help cover their expenses in season.
So you're playing in the minors, and then we'll move on. I'm just fascinated with baseball, but you're in the minors, you're playing how many games? How many?
140 something.
Okay, so you're getting paid $1,200.
Yes.
To play 12 games a month.
No, 28 or 29 games a month because you only play.
Right.
6 months a year.
Now, so you're getting paid.
And I only got paid while we played, so I made $7,000 a year.
Dude, that's insane.
Yeah.
So you guys around here, I pay you. Be grateful, bro. Okay?
Yeah. I tell people that all the time. I'm like, you think you're in poverty? Like,
dude, you don't even know, man. Like,
no, you make more on welfare.
You were a tenth of minimum wage, basically.
We did the math. It was like $3 an hour.
You were making more money than these Louis cost you. What did these Louis cost you?
$1,200 probly.
Wow, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I've never bought a pair of Louis, by the way. How did you justify that? These just a nice wide fit Xenia shoe.
How much are those?
$285.
Oh, okay. But I
thought they were expensive.
I was just with Jared before this, and he had his Christian Dior's on. So
somebody probably gave them to him.
He's doing well.
I don't believe he's got Christians.
I mean, I don't know. Actually, I do get a lot of gifts from people too.
Yeah, but those aren't gifts.
I bought those.
You bought those yourself.
I bought those.
I can tell. Okay.
You know.
So okay, let's talk real estate.
Okay.
Why do you love real estate so much?
Yeah,
and what part of the real estate game are you playing?
Yeah, so I started out as a realtor in 2010. So I knew I was getting drafted. I knew I wasn't going to make any money over there. So I said, let me go and just I guess be a realtor because people.
For who?
I was just at a small boutique brokerage.
Okay.
No idea what I was doing, and back in 2010, like everybody was scared.
Dude, it was over.
Everybody had already gone bankrupt.
Right.
No one had money.
Yeah.
And so I'm over here trying to sell houses in Las Vegas, which got hit harder than everything.
Right.
And so there was houses that had sold for like $350,000 like 2 years ago, brand new. And then they're selling for like 80 grand.
Yeah.
And nobody wanted to buy them.
Jesus God.
And
man.
you're talking like a 1,600 square foot brand new home in Las Vegas. And I'm trying to convince buyers. I'm like, guys, this is a good deal.
Begging them to buy it. So this is a great deal.
This is a great deal. Just buy it. And they're like, kid, you're 21. You don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
And I was like, dude, I hate being a realtor. I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
So I quit being a realtor after a couple of years. 2015, I get into...
Real quick, what's that home worth today? That $80,000 home?
500 at least. Yeah.
When everybody was buying, then when everybody didn't buy, you couldn't convince anybody to buy.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. You would, if you just bought a couple of homes, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
You set.
Yeah. You'd be worth, if you bought 10 of those, you'd be worth $5 million.
Yeah. Crazy.
They'd already be paid off.
They'd be paid off. You'd been cash flowing.
The income would be incredible. What are those homes rent for?
I would guess.
That $80,000 house.
That $80,000 house is probably renting for $2,500, $3,000.
You'd have $25,000 a month in income, $8 million in net worth.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But so I ended up, I was always good at finding deals. I was always a good negotiator. But I just didn't know how to get money.
Yeah.
I had no idea that there was like private money and hard money and all these things. So 2015, 5 years later, I finally learned that game.
You're just grinding out on commissions for 5 years?
No, like I quit doing real estate for probably after a couple of years. And then I just, started doing side hustles. Okay. I just started flipping furniture, flipping cell phones, anything to make money. I was still playing baseball too during that time. So it was like play baseball, flip crap. Play baseball, flip crap. So then 2015, I start flipping houses. I finally learned about hard money. I ended up maxing out my credit cards to get a down payment with hard money. And then I flipped my first house in 2015 and made 25 grand. Wow. And that was like the turning point where I was like, whoa, dude, real estate, man, there's lots of ways to make money over here that are way bigger than just normal stuff. Mm-hmm. So.
And what was the flip?
I bought the house for $99,000 off the MLS, just deal right there on the market. I did barely any work. I just got a good deal. Mm-hmm. Resold it less than 60 days later for $135,000. And I was like, wow, that was the easiest
score.
Thing ever. Yeah.
Yeah. And then now, what's that house worth today?
That house, I'd probably guess it's worth like $350,000. Yeah.
So do you regret selling it?
I mean, people ask us, they're like, do you wish you would have sold or kept every house you bought? I'm like, but then I wouldn't be where I'm at. Like, I needed the cash.
You needed the dough.
To keep growing the business. So I don't regret it.
And then, I had Pace in here and he was talking to me about Subject 2 and I was like, oh, wow, I never heard of that. And then some guy on the internet's like, oh yeah, I was on a Clubhouse or something and some guy's like, you just learned about Subject 2 last week. What do you know? I'm like, bro, I don't when the real estate I'm buying, we're not going to do Subject 2. Yeah. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not applicable. You don't need to learn it.
So I'm learning new stuff. I don't even know really what a deed or a title is. Like, I have a lawyer that figures out what exactly those things mean. I'm trying to find a good piece of real estate. Yeah. How much are you always learning something new?
I'm always trying to figure out what I need to learn for what's like applicable to where I'm currently at, right? So it was like back in 2015, it was everything about flipping houses. I'm like, how do I learn to find contractors and figure out these costs and find more money? So like I was all in on that. Then during COVID, it was like, yo, I'm all in on social media. Like everyone's going to be on just online watching stuff. I got to learn.
Did you have any products when you started the social media?
No.
So why did you go there? You wanted to go there for what reason?
So I was already flipping houses and I knew that social media was going to help me get more.
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew that it was going to help me get more deal flow. I knew it was going to help me get more money for flips. So like I knew on that side it was going to be good. I also at that point, like I had a little course, but nothing crazy, dude. Yeah. Like I wasn't pushing education or anything. But I knew the education would definitely come from social media. And so the more content I made, the more people wanted education, they wanted to invest. And then, as time went on and I got better at social media, we started creating more businesses based on what my audience was telling me they wanted and what they were interested in.
Yeah, you've truly had overnight success. See, mine took 35 years. Yours took like freaking 2.5 years, dude.
Well, I mean, we had to go through, I tell people this all the time. In real estate, I've been in it since 2010. So like, I've been in it for, not as long as you. 13 years of figuring it out. And it took 5 years to flip my first house.
Right.
That's a long time. And then, social media is like, that happened pretty quick. But, once you get better at business and a certain thing, it makes the next thing easier.
Yeah, you had something to share. So what was the first course? Was it related to real estate, I would expect?
Yeah, just house flipping.
It wasn't social media because you were just using the distribution to talk about
real estate.
Yeah. And it was all flipping?
Yep.
So let's go back to that first deal. How would you have used the subject to? No money, assume a guy's loan.
Yeah.
Could you have done that back on that deal?
Probably not that deal, just because the seller probably wasn't interested in that. I think that, and Pace would know way more than
dude.
me.
He's like, oh yeah, every deal can be done subject to.
Well, every deal can, but are they going to accept it?
You mean is the seller going to accept it? Yeah.
I don't know. At the end of the day, most sellers don't want it. They don't want to do it, right? But now you can make it appealing enough for them to do it. How are you going to do that? Well, you're going to pay them way more money.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, do I want the deal for way less money and I'll just get my own loan, or am I going to pay more money? That's usually how it goes.
Yeah. So you don't think that seller, because that would have saved you what? How much money did you pay for that first deal?
I bought it for $99,000, and
you got a loan and did the whole process.
Yeah, I probably paid like $5,000-6,000 and loan and stuff.
Yeah, and got a new loan.
Yeah, hard money.
Because if I knew, subject to back when all that stuff was going to the banks.
Yeah. Oh yeah, take over those guys' loans for
Dude,
sure.
You could have taken over thousands of loans.
Oh yeah, people
easily
giving them away for free.
Right. I don't know if they were any good. They were probably upside down in their homes.
Yeah, we've taken over a few subject twos in that scenario. If somebody's in foreclosure, at the end of the day, they're getting foreclosed on either way.
Right,
so they don't really care.
Yeah.
And they're not going to make anything. So you offer them something, they're happy. Mm-hmm. And you can rebuild their credit for them and all this stuff by catching
because you're paying them.
Yeah.
You're paying the loan. They're getting credit for paying off this mortgage.
Yeah. So
with your money.
Yeah. So it's definitely beneficial in certain circumstances for a seller. But I don't know about you, but if you're going to go sell one of your buildings and everything's good and it's got you're personally guaranteeing that loan, or why would you?
No, I wouldn't do it.
I know.
I'm like, no.
But there would be a price you would do it.
Like I'm buying a deal right now. I don't know. I don't think so.
If your building's worth, $200 million and somebody offers you $400 million because they want you to.
But nobody would do that.
I
right?
know, but theoretically,
but I'm buying a deal right now. The rate on the deal, I should hear this morning that we got it. The rate on the deal is 285.
Amazing.
It's a $99 million deal, and they owe 51. So I got to put 40 something down.
Okay.
48. But the debt's so good.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to put a supplemental. That's how I won the deal. The other two groups are like, we don't put a supplemental on top of the whatever the loan balance is now, 40. Let's say it's 50.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't want a supplemental. I just want to reduce it down to the 50, keep the 285. It's for 10 years. I got 8 years left on the loan.
Yeah. It's going to cash flow a ton.
Oh, it's going to be a pig.
Yeah.
Okay. Great property, great asset. It's got 8 years left of debt. So, I'm taking that loan over. I want that loan. Now, if I owned it for 4 or 5 years, would I want to still be on that loan? They're transferring the loan to me. They're not keeping the obligation of the loan. It gets transferred to me.
Yeah, you're assuming it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a difference, right? It's like if you're just taking over that note and you're now liable.
I'm liable.
Yeah.
They would never let me just... They would stay liable. That'd be like
but that's what subject to is.
Yeah.
In many cases.
Yeah.
They're still on the hook if you screw up.
Well, hey, Pace is he's like in it, and and so I think he'll evolve like I have and like you have to like the different kind of assets. I think he's trying to buy bigger stuff with that concept. Yeah. What is your strategy right now for building your real estate?
Yeah, so flipping was how I got started, and like you said, start to evolve. we've done funds too. So we've got over 500 units under
Oh,
management.
good.
So we've raised capital. Once again, social media.
All apartments you're doing, most of the apartments now?
Yep, those are all apartments. It's been hard to pencil out deals with the higher rates.
Yeah.
And, I've thought a lot about this, and I'd be curious to hear your take. I think I already know your take, but, we're starting a single family fund.
Okay.
Because we already have the systems built out to get single family, like we've been doing that for 10 years now almost, right? And so in Vegas, I just think back to 2010.
Yeah.
Imagine if I would have just bought all of those houses,
You bought 100 houses, you'd be...
Yeah, like I watched...
And you could have, by the way.
Yeah.
You were right in the middle of it.
If I just knew what I knew now, I could have totally did it. But I watched Blackstone and all those guys come to Vegas and literally buy up every single family home at the auction. And I'm just like, wow. I've sold to those guys. We've wholesaled and flipped directly to them.
Yeah.
I'm like, why don't I just keep my own deals?
Yeah.
But
has that market pulled back? What's the pullback been? 5%?
Last year when everything happened, we dropped 10%, but now we're already
moving
coming back. Yeah. So inventory's low.
So what do you think? You wanted to ask me a question about the single family thing.
Well, I know you're not a single family guy. Like, what do you think?
Dude, like if I would have, what you just said, when you brought me back to 2010, and you're buying houses for 90,000, 80,000, 100,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what you would add to that today, if you went back, or I would, I'm going to go get 100 of these.
Yeah.
Back then, I wasn't thinking about 100. I was thinking about I'm going to get one.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to get a 2. But I wasn't thinking about getting 100.
Yeah.
And I think that's, if I could get 100,
you do it.
And have one guy manage all 100 and cut him in for a piece of the action, and dude start doing, keep them slammed.
Yeah.
And I'm buying them, but I don't know that you have that chance today. I don't think that we have a housing crash. Elon came out and said we're going to have a housing crash in America, and I love Elon. I almost never disagree with him.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't think you have one this cycle, because just like you said, they came down a little bit and they're already starting to move in the other direction.
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to have a housing crash either, but I'm just looking at this from the 10-year
So you think Elon's an idiot?
Pretty much, man. The guy knows nothing. No.
That's our headline. I was looking for a headline. Ryan Panetta, social media influencer, thinks Elon Musk is an idiot.
No, he's a genius. But it's funny because
But by the way, he doesn't own any homes.
Yeah, I know. He lives in his little boxable home.
Yeah.
No, it's funny because I was talking to, last time I was in Miami, I was with Patrick Bet-David. And he was talking about the real estate market crashing too. And this was like 9 months ago.
Yeah.
I interviewed. I'm like, Patrick, it's not going to crash. Dude.
Yeah.
There's no way. He's like, it's going to crash. It's going to crash. Rates are going to be like 12% or something crazy. I'm like, dude, it's not going to get to that point. And, obviously it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And
well, you can go back. If you go back, there's actually graphs of interest rates going up back when I was growing up, 70s and 80s. Actually, pricing didn't come down even when interest rates were 20%.
Wow.
So if you look at the graphs, rates were going up, house prices were doing this the whole time.
Yeah. People just kept buying.
Yeah. So everybody thinks like they're just using a frame of reference.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's just
now homes weren't $500,000 either.
No.
They were $26,000 back then.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think the next 10 years we have
bro, all the guys that didn't buy real estate think real estate's going to crash.
Right. That's true.
They're looking for an entry point.
Yeah.
They know they missed a tremendous amounts of 10 years of wealth.
Yeah.
It's going to happen for another 10 years.
And that's my whole point. Like, I don't care that the prices are 400, 500 today.
Yeah.
Where are they going to be in 10 years?
Yeah, exactly. Can't build it. There's no affordable housing.
No.
There's no labor.
Yep. You don't have anything that says you can basically fulfill demand.
Regulations are getting more expensive. Permits are more expensive.
There's more buyers now than ever because you got hedge funds and all these capital groups buying.
Yeah.
10 years
ago. These other guys are just haters, man.
Yeah.
Kiyosaki, Bet-David. These guys I'm like, you guys missed the freaking greatest opportunity in economics.
Yeah.
Why you got to trash on it? Just say, I missed the obvious.
Yeah.
Right?
And I also don't know why people, I don't know, kind of root for a crash. Like, when it crashes, then I'm going to get in.
Yeah.
It's like, if you couldn't predict the last 12 years, what makes you think you're going to predict it at any point, anytime soon?
How much did you buy at the height? back in, let's say 19, 20, 21. Were you buying stuff?
Yeah, we flip over 100 homes a year. So like,
So you're still flipping.
Yeah,
you don't keep anything.
No,
but
I'll keep
the 500 that you own.
Yeah, so I'll cherry pick single families I want to keep that are flips. We'll buy the apartments. We got Airbnb, so we still do that stuff. But I think for me, I've been trying to really figure out what is going to be like my big long-term strategy.
Yeah.
Is it going to be big multi? Is it going to be, storage? Is it going to be development? I'm really interested in development, and I'm curious why you guys haven't really.
We will.
You
We're
will?
going to tear this one down. This will be my first development deal.
Oh, nice.
This is going to be a swimming pool right where you are right now.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're going to build like high rises?
It'll be 20 floors, 320 units.
Okay.
This will be, I think the swimming pool is on the 8th floor. So we'll take this. This will be all parking where we are. And then on the 8th floor will be a swimming pool. We'll campus up with the office right there. It's going to be a really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it just seems like most of the like really top real estate guys I've seen are all developers.
No, dude, they're not.
They're not?
No. They're builders. They go busted.
Okay.
The builders want to be me.
Okay.
Most builders can't hold.
Okay.
They can't hold the asset. They build it.
Yeah, and then they flip.
Yeah, they flip out.
Yeah.
I buy all my shit from a builder.
Okay. So you be the
They
buyer.
build it. Sam Zell, the great Sam Zell, rest in peace, Sam.
Yeah.
The first 50 years of his career, he said, I will never be the first one. I will never be the first owner of the property. He was always the second guy in. You build it, you fill it, I'll buy it.
Yeah. Because he has the safest investment.
The safest.
Yeah. You don't have any of like the uncertainties of
inflation, labor, permits, regulations, interest rate fluctuations.
Yeah.
Boom, you build, and all of a sudden we hit a major, massive recession that lasts 24 months, and you can't fill the building. You can't get the rents that you thought you were going to get.
Yeah.
Banks go out of business. You can't get the loan. There's so many risks.
Yeah, it seems like the developers are the ones like
suicide rates are higher with builders than they are with investors.
Jeez.
I can live forever, bro. Like I go to sleep at night. That's why I was asking you about your worst deal, your worst apartment deal.
Oh, my worst deal.
Your worst deal in apartments.
In apartments.
As opposed to your worst deal in flips.
Okay.
Compare those two deals.
Yeah. Yeah, flips. We've lost a lot of money on bad deals on flips. Yeah.
Now on the apartment, what's the one that you bought and you're like, man, I paid too much, timing was not right, and you still own it?
The first one we got has cost a lot more in renovation than we expected. So, that's been a headache. And then, if renovations aren't done, then you're not getting the occupancy you want. So that one has taught me a big lesson watching you.
Yeah, you're doing value add.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
And so like when I see you buy it already stabilized, I'm like, yeah, he didn't have to deal with this headache that I'm dealing with. Because, the value add is pretty much like a fix and flip.
Dude, it's work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
You got to get them out.
Yep.
I mean, explain to people what happens how big was that deal? And what did you spend on the value?
It was over 300 units.
300?
Yep. And
nice size.
Yep. We paid about $20 million for the deal.
Wow, good for you, man.
Yeah. So
that had to feel good, huh? Did y'all celebrate?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
And then,
were you surprised that somebody would give you a loan for $20 million?
I wasn't surprised. I expected it.
Every time I get a loan, I'm like, fuck, I can't believe somebody trusts me with this much money.
That's funny. We bought it and, we basically had to raise more capital after, the renovations ended up being a lot more, and you finally get in the units and you're like, wow, all right, there's way more than we knew.
Yeah.
And it just is what it is. It sucks.
So, and then how's that deal performing?
Right now, we're still trying to get it stabilized. So that's the headache.
Cash flow?
No, not yet.
Negative?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Because we have to get it stabilized.
How long you been in that deal?
About a year on one of them.
I
mean, we bought it with super low occupancy.
Okay.
Yeah, like it was.
So it's
that's why we got
C property.
Yeah.
C location.
Yeah. So we bought it.
A problem owner. The guy before is a problem.
Yeah. So we already bought it like knowing.
Yeah, but it was cheap.
It was cheap. I mean.
Yeah.
$20 million for 300 plus units.
150 grand a door.
No. It was like 60 grand a door. Wait.
No. 20 million into 300 into 20 million. What's that? 60,000.
Yeah, it's like 60 a
Yeah,
door.
66,000.
Yeah.
So
I
what,
mean,
what are the rents there, man?
about 900.
God damn, I'll buy that thing from you.
I know. That's why it's a good deal, but it's taking time.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's an extreme value add. But then,
Yeah.
like, we bought other ones in Iowa that, you know, one of them is right by the University of Iowa. It was already just college kids and rolling. And so that thing, like, from the beginning, just cash flowing and rolling. And so, like, you see the two different deals and you're like, all right, you know, one on paper is like this massive opportunity.
Yeah.
One looks like, you know, a good deal, but not like this huge value add.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, one is like performing better, but then, you know, we'll see in the years to come.
Yeah.
It's a long
Bro,
play.
you're so young though, man. If I were you know.
Yeah. What would you do?
Dude, I would be focused on, I'm 34 years old. I got a wife. How many kids you got?
2 with a third on the way.
Third, they're all yours?
Yeah.
Okay. I know you're doing great with social media.
Yeah.
And I know you're doing good with your courses. You're going to keep making money.
Yeah.
That's going to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
I would bury all that stuff in great assets.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't buy any value add.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do any rehab shit. I would never do another countertop. I would never do another floor, another bathroom, fucking bullshit. You know, I would buy stabilized, like the stuff I'm buying. I would buy great asset. I'd focus on Vegas.
Yeah.
You live there.
Yeah.
I'd build at least 1,000 units. I'd go find 3 or 4 or 5 buildings, 200 units each, raise the money for all of them, stabilize those properties, and sit and wait.
Yeah.
Fill them up, keep them at 92, 93, 94%, and wait for those rents to just keep chopping up. And then look up when you're 55 years old, you're gonna be freaking rich.
What made you realize that? Did you go through the headache of doing all that
Yeah, I
stuff
did all
first?
that other stuff.
Yeah.
And then you get to it, you've done so much work and you're so scared of it, and you finally get, you're like, oh, man, I got a score, I'm gonna pick up 5 million.
Yeah.
And then you sell it and you're like, oh, I gotta go buy another building again.
Yeah.
All you had was a tax event.
Yeah.
I don't want a tax event. My tax event's happening. Your social media platform is your tax event.
Yeah. It's all active.
The other thing is your wealth building. Like that's what I would just like.
And
But I had to dispose. I had to get rid of this. I got to have 12% cash flow. I had to get rid of this. I got to make. My entry's got to be so good. I know I'm going to kill somebody later. Because you might not, by the way. The stuff that I paid the most money for, I've made the most money on. It wasn't the stuff I bought the cheapest.
The stuff that just looked like you got a great deal. Like
Yeah,
as
I'm like,
far as
oh man, my cost basis is so low.
Right.
They did work out, but
They're more headache and less return, is what you're saying.
Well, I'm not buying some of the stuff. I mean, I haven't bought that in. If I go back 12 years, when you were buying that thing, and in 2012, I bought 1,000 units here in Florida. It was B product.
Yeah.
In a B- location, maybe a C+ location up on the coast, and about 2 hours, 3 hours north here, Daytona, St. Lucie, little tiny towns, tertiary markets.
Yeah.
It was concrete block. I paid $58,000 a door. Those are worth $250 a door right now. I made $200 million on that deal. But I still own them. I'll probably never sell them. There was only one owner before me. They were only 10 years old when I bought them. I didn't do anything to them. I went over there and took a piss on the property. Literally walked in, boom, boom, I'm gonna buy this deal. Took a piss, urinated on the place, hadn't done anything since. Maybe we painted it, power washed it or something once or twice.
So are you
and then we just get the cash flow and wait for the rents to go up. The rents went from $800 in 12 years. They're probably $1,800 now.
So are you just solely focused only on multi?
We bought two offices. I bought this one. I bought one in Scottsdale. I might buy more office.
But you're using office for yourself.
But I might buy more office
as just
in this
has
cycle.
Nothing to do with your
in
business.
in this cycle, because do you do remote work? You have remote workers, or you
we have some remote workers, but we try not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a massive failure.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't like it.
Why?
People just aren't as productive.
Yeah.
There's no camaraderie.
Yeah.
There's no, you lose all the aspects of what makes like culture,
Yeah.
there.
Can you imagine playing baseball remote?
We're all just showing up on Zoom.
Yeah. And then like, okay, guys, we got a game Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you run the place?
I don't know.
How do you trust? How do you know what your partner can do or can't do, or their weaknesses and their strengths? And
Yeah, it makes no sense.
if you're not playing together,
Yeah.
it don't make money either.
How much are your workforces remote?
1%.
1%. But
Licensed, really they're partners. Licensed partners, other operations, other companies.
I guess
if we have a remote guy right now, we have trouble with last night. Fucking guy forgot to show up for a goddamn meeting with 1,100 people.
Jeez.
Like this, shoot him in the head.
Yeah.
So who wants to do that?
Your remote is so
out of sight, out of mind, right? So
yeah. Is it just outside contractors that you would only do remote?
Contractors or 1099? Nah, but it's not even a lot of 1099s. I don't even think we have any of those. We have partners, maybe license.
Yeah.
Some guy that they live in Dubai.
Got it.
They can't work here.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, like the real estate. You can't run real estate remotely. You got to have people, a leasing agent on the ground, like that rehab you're doing.
Yeah.
Or you have somebody there every day.
We actually had to fire the previous company. That's part of the problem.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, but we had on-site management with a well-established company, and they're not doing the job. So we had to fire them and replace them.
Well, this is the other thing, and this is me and you talking right now, and the audience can take away whatever you guys want to take away from it. But the other thing that I realized with the C properties and the C tenants and the C rents and locations is that it's harder to get people to stay on the job.
Right.
It's hard to get a good leasing agent.
Yeah.
And it's harder to get a management team because they're like, dude, this place is tough.
Yeah.
They don't even want to drive to it.
Yeah.
The nice, shiny stuff, you get the best leasing agent.
They're like, yeah, let's go.
Let's go, man. I want to be here.
Yeah.
There's got a nice gym they can work out in. Mm-hmm. So are you changing your mind right now? Are you forming any decisions while we sit here and talk?
Yeah. So like I was telling you, I've always watched what you've done well before, we knew each other. And I'm like, why does Grant buy these crazy buildings, right? When people say he overpays for these buildings and whatever. And then, I just think back to my own experience and I'm like, man, 10 years ago, people said that about Blackstone when they were buying all these buildings. I watched them do it in Vegas on all these homes. They would go to the auctions and they would pay 100% of market value. And I'm like, why would they pay 100? They're not going to make money.
Yeah.
And it was like Blackstone knew at 100% of value of that current value, it was like an amazing deal for a 10-year time horizon.
Yeah.
Didn't work as a flipper.
No.
But a 10-year time horizon, it totally worked. And so, I watched that and then I listened to you talk about your previous deals from 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And you're like, yeah, it wasn't like the greatest, people wouldn't have thought it was that crazy of a deal, but now look at it.
Yeah.
Right. And then I just think too, watching what you're saying, watching what like the biggest real estate investors I know, they're buying grade A stuff. And
Dude,
I'm like,
Apple's probably going to buy Disney. Okay.
Yeah.
Facebook overpaid for Instagram. Mm-hmm. Google overpaid supposedly at the time. Oh, I can't believe YouTube's paying, or Google's paying so much for YouTube.
Yeah, it wasn't an overpay.
But look, they're great assets. Warren Buffett says, look, don't look for the cheapest asset. Look for value in the asset. Look for an opportunity in that asset. And so, I mean, would I buy value add again? Yes, I would, but I wouldn't go to C's. I wouldn't go to C properties. I would not go to C locations that are probably going to continue to be C locations forever.
Yeah.
Unless some event happens.
Yeah.
And you have time on your side.
Yeah.
And you have this other business that rocks.
Yeah.
If you were just doing flips, if you were just a real estate guy and that's all you did and you didn't have another income, maybe.
Right. But I don't need to go through that.
Well, you can't turn that property around fast enough.
Yeah.
To ignore what you can do on social.
Yeah, the opportunity cost.
Yeah, you're going to be like, I'm going to go shoot some content today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can produce revenue.
Mm-hmm. Today.
Yeah. That you'll never get out of that apartment deal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a long-term play.
Uh-huh. No, I agree. I think, going forward. So will you still buy B?
Yeah, I'd buy B.
Okay.
But,
so B's your minimum.
But if I were you right now, I would be looking for somebody that bought something in 2020.
Uh-huh.
I can't believe this is becoming a real estate show right now, but I would be looking for somebody that bought on adjustable rate mortgages 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Their rate caps have expired.
Yeah.
They probably they borrowed on an adjustable and they have equity from another group. They syndicated the deal. I'd look for a syndicator group
Yeah.
that offered probably an 8 or 10 or 12% preferred. And they're choking.
Yeah.
They're choking on, there's no outcome for them.
Yeah.
They have to wait 3 years to get an outcome and they won't.
Right.
They just tap out.
Yeah.
And then maybe go do a subject too. Which I doubt. They probably owe more than you could get a loan for. That loan's coming due.
Yeah.
And it needs to be paid down.
Yeah.
I have 5 loans that need to be paid down.
Yeah.
But I can pay them down.
You just have the capital.
Yeah, I have the capital.
Yeah.
So I don't need to call for my investors. I'll just write it.
And that's what I did.
You call, you went to the,
I had the capital to go and just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you should brag about that.
Yeah.
But it's expensive to do that.
It is expensive to do it, but I didn't want to do a capital call. I'm like, I got it.
I'll handle it.
Yeah.
And then you went and replaced the money with your other business. So your other business, like what is that? What are you trying to build over there?
It's funny because like I haven't tried to, it's all happened really quick, right? So I haven't really had a plan, for the last couple, it's just been like, hey, let's teach people real estate. Hey, people now want to learn social media. Let's create education for that. Hey, all these entrepreneurs are coming. Let's create education for entrepreneurs. And, it's just kind of like grown into this big thing. And then what I realized was all of those, people in our programs that were really helping wanted to learn about, not wanted to learn, but wanted just different services related to it, right? So it's like, our real estate coaching program is called Wealthy Investor. And so many of them need all these other subsidiary services. They need tax, they need data, they need lending. They need all this stuff. And it's like, they're going to buy it from somewhere. If you can be the provider too, then, not only are you helping them, but you're making money on that side. And then those people you make them enough money, they become your investors on your deals, partners on your deals. Yeah. And so like, I just kind of like understood how the funnel of like, all right, it starts with social, then they come into education, you help them make money, they buy services, they invest, they become partners, and like, that's just kind of the game.
Yeah. So, and it starts with what course? What do you, because I see you talking about like all kind of stuff on social.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, Wealthy Investors, probably our biggest one. And, that started out as house flipping, but now it's like, hey, we have Airbnb, we have wholesaling, we have subject to, we can teach you how to just buy normal rentals. Now, we don't cover multifamily and stuff too much, because we're definitely not the experts on that.
You can send them to me.
Yeah, I'll send them to you.
Okay.
But everything single family related, we basically train at Wealthy Investor. But then like what happened was everyone saw me get on social media and they're like, bro, how did you do it? How did it happen so quick? Like, teach me how to do it. I'm like, all right. So we created a program.
Then they want the education on how to do social.
Yeah, so we created a program called Wealthy Creator. And it was like, all right, I'm gonna give you my framework. Here's how I create content. It only takes me 4 or 5 hours a week. And like all the content you see me post everywhere, that's the amount of work it takes just because of our system. And so, we create that. Then we realize, people want like us, like they still need the editors. They still need someone to post it. They need a team. So we start a media company. Yeah. So we start a company called Pineda Media. And, we go about and start editing videos for people, start posting for them, start literally like.
What do you charge for that service?
It depends on the package. I would say our average package is $4,000 a month. And like, that's literally everyone getting, 1 reel a day, we'll post it on.
You're cutting it?
Yep.
You're shooting it? I mean, they're in it.
Yeah. So like, basically what happens from start to finish is somebody gets onboarded. We learn about their business. So you're like, yep, I'm Grant. I got these businesses. I'm trying to raise capital. Boom. All right, cool. We set up a time to go film just like this. We schedule like 2 to 3 hours with you. And we'll be like, all right, Grant, we got all these questions for you. Let's make some reels, short form.
Oh, nice.
So we'll make it. And we'll pepper you with the
questions. This is what I did as Louis Curtis in Undercover Billionaire.
Yep.
I've always wanted to build a business out of this.
Yeah. So we did that. And then, we get all the data or the files. We end up editing them. We get all your social information, post them on your behalf. Man, it's like really turnkey. And so that's usually about $4,000 a month for that package.
How long does somebody normally stay on that?
I mean, we only started that like 3 months ago. So
they're staying, they're sticking.
Yeah, they're sticking now.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how churn is as time goes on.
Yeah.
But.
So why? I mean, you can build that business if you got 100 people paying you $4,000 a month.
Yeah.
You understand why that C- property is.
Yeah, this
You'd
business.
be like, I ain't going over there.
Yeah, this is a much better opportunity. Yeah.
It's immediate.
Yeah. And it's recurring and it's higher margin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's no piece of real estate I ever bought that I made more money on than I could producing something.
Like an actual product or a
and
business.
Selling it.
Yeah.
There's no faster way to make money than just simply make money.
Yeah.
But those don't create wealth.
And they don't give you tax benefits.
And talk to me. So like that value add deal, when you recapitalize that deal, now on the recapitalization, you don't get any tax benefits from that.
Right.
That's the nasty part of that deal.
Yeah.
But when you went into that deal, did it come
we got
with
a big tax write-off.
Did you
we
share
did a cost
those with the
segregation.
investors?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep. So we all got big deductions.
What do I have wrong on the cost segregation? Because some people are telling me or trying to say online, hey, Grant Cardone's cost segregation and the depreciation and the write-offs he talked about, basically knocking out the passive income is not real and it's not allowed by law. I had an accountant actually. This 25-year-old accountant said, no, none of what I'm saying is actually true and can't be done.
Yeah.
I said, well, bro, I should be on jail then. For like 30 years. Because I've been doing this 30 years.
Yeah.
Well,
you have people calling you to be in jail like every week.
Yeah,
for something.
Exactly. Why do so many people want me to go to jail?
Dude, I don't know. They're haters.
They are haters, bro. Do you have these?
Yeah.
Do you have them like I have them?
No. Not anywhere close to what you have.
Why do I get them? Why do I get so many?
You tell me. Why do you think?
I don't know. Why you're watching from the outside?
Okay, watching from the outside.
Yeah. Give me some advice. This is going to be the advice segment. Give me advice.
The true unfiltered advice. I would say, I mean, number one, people just don't like successful people. Like,
okay.
I use LeBron as the example all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, LeBron's like the greatest.
And most hated.
Yeah, like how do you not like him? Like the dude is family man.
Yeah.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
But people hate him. So who knows, right? Tom Brady, the same way.
Yeah.
So that's one. I think just that's going to bring hate regardless. Two, I think obviously you're loud, so it's going to rub some people the wrong way.
This is the part I need help on. Okay.
Yeah. Some people are going to take it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Then I think two or three, a lot of things you say also get taken out of context. So, when I saw the video of you talking about like you're a loser if you make $400,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Completely taken out of context, by the way.
Yeah. And like I'm like,
I was in a room where the top guy made 12 million.
Yeah.
Half the room made over 8. And there was a handful of people in the room that made $400,000.
Yeah.
And the guy that paid me to go do that meeting, the CEO of this major insurance company, said, dude, could you please handle these people that make $400,000 in this room? I'm like, sure, I'll handle them. I'm like, if you make $400,000 and you're in this room, you should not feel good about yourself as a father and as a husband. And this was 12 years ago.
That was 12 years ago?
That video was 10 or 12 years ago.
Really?
11 years ago.
Why did it start getting...
And then somebody grabbed it.
Yeah.
They just start scouring the internet looking for, and everybody that hates the message, you know who picked it up was Barstools.
Yeah,
Barstools picked it up and tried to trash me. There's some guy over there that doesn't like me.
Yeah.
And he's probably envious of me.
Yeah.
And didn't include that I was given directions to, these people paid me $250,000 to come in there and confront their lowest producers.
Yeah.
I did my job.
Yeah, you did.
Right? And so then it gets put out on the internet. And there was one comment. Hey guys, Grant is not talking to you. He's talking to somebody else.
Yeah.
Why are you guys taking this so personal?
Yeah.
Now, could I have said it a different way? Should I be saying things differently? When you see some of the stuff that I do, because you said it's taken out of context, but I'm asking you as a peer.
Yeah.
Okay. For peer review right now.
Peer review. So I'll tell you, when I saw the video, obviously I don't have context, but I saw I guess the longest clip I could see. And from what I assumed you were saying was, hey, if I personally made 400 grand, Grant Cardone, I'd be ashamed of myself. And I would be ashamed of myself too.
Yeah.
Right? Like that ain't good enough for what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I'm like, to me, he's talking about his own standards.
Yeah.
But, nonetheless, I think, I don't know. The results speak for themselves. So why would you change it?
Yeah.
It's got you to this point.
I mean, I know, but I know there's something I'm doing to antagonize.
To make people.
To hit the hornet nest,
Yeah.
Because I'll even.
Like, why is Mark Cuban and like other guys not getting the same kind of hate?
I think they probably get it too, dude. See, I don't know that you get hate. I don't know how you know I get it.
I mean, yeah. It's just.
I don't see the hate you get.
But I think
I'm sure Mark gets it.
If I get bigger, then it will come. So
it's coming, bro.
Yeah. So there's just no.
I bless you with a lot of hate. Okay, it's part of the package, man. I'm telling you, there's no way around this thing. I had a banker in here. We were talking about interest rates, and he spent a couple hours, but he owns the bank. And before he left, we didn't talk about any of this other stuff I do. I had him in here to make sure he understands my business. Yeah. Because we were on a phone call, and he's like, dude, where's all your money come from? I said, man, come to the office, man. I've known you for 12 years. Come by here. This guy's lent me a bunch of money. I got a bunch of money with him. I'm like, you don't even know what I do. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I do, man. I said, no, bro, you know what you see on Instagram. Right. He comes here, he's like, wow. He sees the marketing department. He sees the sales department. He sees corporate sales. He sees the classroom full of people. He sees the sales team. Like, he sees all the Cardone Capital. He's like, oh, my God, man. Yeah. I said, bro, all these are separate divisions. Yeah. He's like, I said, do you see my deposits every day? And he's like, well, I see your account balance. Yeah. I said, no, see the deposits every day. That's cash money coming in. Yeah. And so I said, you need to see the company. So I explained to him the whole business. That was my bad, by the way. I learned something big time there. If you got a banker, bring him to your company. Otherwise, they're going to judge you for whatever color you put in your hair last week. What
color you think next?
No, I don't know, man. I don't know.
10X red?
I think you should put a big X. Put a big 10 on one side and an X on the other.
There you go.
I'll pay 10 grand for that. And so before he left, he's getting ready to leave, and he sits down. He had his other employees leave the room. He's like, hey, I got to ask you a question. Why you do all this shit on social media? I said, what shit, bro? I said, what are you talking about? What shit? He's like, the controversial stuff. Like, why do you take on the vaccine? Yeah. Why do you take on the FDA and the WHO, and like, why do you take on transgender stuff? See, I know that's the part I do that antagonizes the rest.
So why do you do that then?
Well, I don't do it. I don't do it for social gain, okay? Because I know there's a cost, okay? Yeah. Now, when he asked me this, he's a banker. Yeah. And he's my banker. So my answer was, there's a net gain. Uh-huh. I lose something to get something. Yeah. I lose an audience to get an audience.
Yeah, to get a more loyal audience.
Yeah, but I had to tell him something. Otherwise, I look like an idiot.
I just do it because I don't know.
I can't say, well, man, I was bored, so I thought I'd take on the LGBTQ community. I'm bored, so I thought I'd take on Adidas and Gap. Okay? Yeah. So you know, now it could be that I'm a little bored sometimes. Yeah. I like the action, dude. Yeah. I mean, seriously, I like the action.
You like debate.
I love debate, dude. I love the fight. I mean, it's the thing about politics that actually interests me.
Are you going to run?
No, I'm just saying.
Okay, all right.
Like, I like the action. I like when you were playing baseball, dude, didn't you like the scrap?
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever have a baseball fight?
We never had, we like cleared benches, but never
really?
like a full brawl.
Tell me about when y'all cleared.
I mean, dude, somebody got hit.
Where were you?
I was in the dugout, you know, but somebody got hit and we thought it was coming, and it was. I thought it was going to go down, but everyone got held back.
Do you remember? I'm sure you remember the Astros. Hitting on the cans. Yeah. When you found out about that, what did you think?
I mean, to be truthful, I'm just like, in baseball, I've seen it since the beginning of time. Like, people cheat. Steroids were such a huge part of the game. People steal signs, like, people, it just is what it is. Yeah. Do you think they should have had their World Series trophy taken from them? Oh, I don't know. I don't really care either way. Yeah. I don't have an opinion on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there for that game.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, dude, I was right there watching.
Just listening to the
I didn't pick it up.
Yeah. No, nobody would have.
I didn't pick it up. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I didn't think.
Yeah.
But it was. I wanted to be a baseball player, so I love baseball, man. I love that.
Yeah.
Game.
I remember you telling me that one time.
Yeah.
That was your
You
dream.
made it a lot further than I did.
Well, but for both of us, it worked out.
I don't think I could have thrown you out though. It sounds like you were pretty fast.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty fast.
Okay, so biggest mistake that you've made in social. If you could go back and do anything over again, what would you do differently? And the same question for real estate.
And so, I mean, the answer for both is start earlier. Like I wish I would have started both earlier. Buying in 2010, posting when YouTube just came out and Instagram, like it'd have been great. But I would say beyond that, I guess in social, one of the mistakes I made early on was like trying to be too perfect, and being like overthinking and like, I gotta have the perfect script and the edit's gotta be perfect.
Right.
And it's like, nah, dude, just put out the stuff. And sure enough, like the more volume you put out, you start to get better, you start to practice, get reps in, you start seeing like feedback of what people like.
Yeah.
And it just keeps making you better.
Has the frequency helped you change your messaging?
It's helped me like become a better speaker. It's helped me figure out what topics work better. And yeah, for sure. Like I've realized like, oh, people are not interested in this. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
So 100%.
Now, do you ever think about using any of the controversy?
Yeah. I've thought about that a lot.
I see you kind of playing with it a little bit every once in a while.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I talk about faith a lot, which some people might think is controversial, which really isn't. But, even like on the faith-based side, a lot of the things that we talk about are directly related to that, like the transgender issues, some of these issues you're talking, the vaccine and other things, right? Like, I'm pretty much with you on most of the things you say.
Yeah.
I just don't hold Twitter spaces talking about it for 3 hours.
Yeah. You don't go into those rooms either.
No, I don't know. I don't know how you have time to do it.
Dude, like one night I went into a room. I think the room was called.
Is that what you do for fun? Like because I don't have time to just like.
Can you imagine somebody says, "What do you do for fun?" I go to Twitter Spaces and I go into rooms where they're majority black people and I'm learning about white entitlement. That's what you do for fun, huh? So no, dude, I go there because there's people.
Yeah.
There's people. There's action.
Yeah.
There's different views.
Yeah.
And the thing the most dissatisfying thing to me about social media is that it's a one-way flow. I dump something on Instagram. I dump something on YouTube. I dump something on Facebook, but I don't get any feedback.
Right.
There's no challenge other than some
comment,
some punk that would anonymously, without a freaking avatar, by the way.
Yeah.
And if it is, it's never him.
Yeah.
And some false name.
Yeah.
That will take a shot at me.
Right.
I'm like, bro, that's not contact.
Yeah.
Contact is you see me at the store or at the restaurant, you're a piece of shit. That's contact. I like that contact,
Yeah.
Not, oh, you're a piece of shit in my comments.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's nothing, bro. Like,
Yeah.
no, let's get the action going. Or I go online, okay? Like I was online the other night. I didn't know this was gonna happen, but it happens when you show up and you're with people and there can be a two-way flow. This guy, what used to be a major CEO at a Fortune 50 company, and he's in a room, and he comes at me, calls me all this crazy shit.
Was this the T-Mobile guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hadn't worked in 3 years.
Yeah, when you were in my room, he was in too.
The guy's so envious of me, it's unbelievable. Talk about haters.
Yeah.
This guy, he's watched me for probably 15 or 20 years. And then he watched me blow right past him.
Yeah.
He retired. I'm still working. He's probably younger than me. He ain't worked in 3 years. Probably can't get another job. Got blown out of a company. Okay. I'm trashing him right now. We're going to use this. Okay. Doesn't take care of himself. Three divorces.
Yeah.
Angry. It's like just venomous. Okay. Just eating at him right now. And I freaking passed by this guy. My net worth just blew up. So he's in this room. And he's seeing all the shit I'm doing on social, watches everything, fascinated with me, obsessed, okay?
Yeah.
And he's like, you're a fraud, what did he say about me? He's like, I'm scamming my investors. I'm like, bro, do you have any proof of any of this? You're going to end up in jail.
Yeah.
This is happening in a Twitter space room, okay, or
Yeah.
a clubhouse room. And I'm like, this is great action. Okay. This is unbelievable. Okay. So I said, bro, you are bordering on defamation right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about real libel in this case, okay? Nobody here believes any of what you're saying. And so I'm having this with this big dude, but me and him are just freaking going at it.
Yeah.
And so I find that extremely exciting. Now, that being said, I also don't like somebody calling me a fraud. I'm not.
Yeah.
A criminal. I'm not. I sent out $50 million last year to our investors. Okay. He kind of left that part out. Okay. We're probably in the safest investment vehicle in the world, multifamily. And then the next night, he pops up into another room. I let it go, the first one, okay?
Yeah.
No problem, okay? Call me whatever you want to call me. I know it's not true. The next night, he calls me a pedophile.
Oh, jeez.
I have pictures of you with children, young children, and you're a pedophile. I'm like, bro, nobody believes this, right? So this is a guy, and what I took away from that is, Grant, keep working, stay busy, hang out with Panetta,
Yeah.
and leave this deadbeat alone, okay?
Yeah.
Clip that piece.
Clip that.
I'm gonna fucking put that up right there. And that's why I get shit online.
Yeah. That
Okay.
is exactly why you do.
Because but let me just tell you, when I go to sleep at night, yeah, I kind of second guess it, but I know at the end of my lifetime, I'm gonna be like, Grant Cardone stood for one thing. He stood up and he would hit back. Like when you guys unloaded those, can you imagine, Ryan, if you would have sat on in the dugout?
While everyone else is out there.
And you're like, I ain't going out there.
Yeah. Nah.
So I would hope that you would fight for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm holding you to that.
All right. If he
Okay.
comes in the spaces, you know.
What are you going to sell him? Just look in the camera and say, John, you're a piece of shit.
I'm not going to say that. I don't know the guy.
Well, I'm telling you, piece of shit, deadbeat, past
So-
his prime,
So
retired.
this is why you get in trouble, though. Because, like, even if there are lots of people like that, I'm not going to go, like, antagonize. I'm just like, you're not worth, like, my time even, like, talking
Yeah, I agree with you. I do agree with you, but I also agree that somebody needs to stand up against the bullies.
Yeah?
And somebody needs to be an example to speak up
Yeah.
and say, knock this off, dude. I don't want this.
That's true.
Like, I'll give you an example. You know the image of the transgender parade.
Not the image. No.
Okay, let me show it to you. So I want to know, and we'll insert it. I want to know, because dude, I'm like, this is disgusting to me. Okay, I don't want my kids seeing this. I don't personally want to see this in the streets. And I don't even know if you want to confront this issue or not even talk about it.
No, we can talk about it.
But let me see, what's the one, the one that's been going around all over the internet recently? Yeah, the one where the guy's he's got a damn leash around a man in front of him. The person's doesn't have any clothes on except a G-string, and he's behind him looking like he's humping him. And they're on a goddamn parade, I think in LA or something. And I'm like, well, why's this got to be in the streets, man?
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine if we have a parade float? I have my wife naked in front of me. I'm behind her, got a damn leash around her neck.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's indecent exposure, man.
Yeah.
Like, don't you want to stand up and say, stop this madness?
Yeah. For sure.
But you don't.
No?
Why? Why don't you? Let me just see it. I'm gonna show it to him so he sees the image. That, dude. You want your kids seeing that?
Look at all the people celebrating.
Look
on
at all the
side,
kids.
too.
Look
Like,
at all
what
the
is
kids
going
in
on
the
here?
audience. There's kids in the audience, man. There's teenagers in the audience.
That's
There's
crazy.
25-year-olds in the audience, and I could be in that. I don't want to see it.
No. In the middle of the street.
Does it look violent to you?
No.
No. What they're doing, the act. Does the
Oh. No, it's sexual.
You see, it suggested violence and sex to me.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I hope you didn't get excited with that.
No, we'll have to end the show early. No. But
you
yeah.
see, that's why I can't. I see that, and man, I cannot.
You can't let it just sit there. Do you think that happens with age as you start to not care as much? Because I've noticed that as I've gotten older, and I'm not
Yeah.
you know,
I think it happens with money.
money and age.
But I think some people won't do it with money. I think there's more people that have money that won't do it.
Yeah.
But I was inspired by that show, Billions,
I haven't seen it.
where
I've heard of
somebody asked the guy, what was the actor's name? Billions. His name was
Axelrod.
Yeah, Axelrod. He said, how much money is enough? And he's like, when I got enough money to say, fuck you. I got enough money. It's fuck you money. I was like, that inspired me, that one line. I didn't even finish the season. I got what I need.
Yeah.
Okay, so how much money is enough money?
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm happy with where my life's at now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Money's never really like driven me to like achieve new things. Like I have more money now than I ever thought was possible for me. You know, I mean, I was making $1,200 a month
Yeah.
playing minor league baseball.
So how much success is enough for Ryan Panetta? I mean,
Yeah.
when do you say, okay, I'm good?
I don't think I ever will.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever like feel like I've achieved enough. So I think it's just always going to be striving for whatever goal's next. And then once I get there, all right, what now? What's the next big goal? Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be financial, you know, could be entering a new season of my life where I'm just being the best dad
Yeah.
I can be, coaching baseball teams, whatever,
Yeah.
right? It could be, you know, now we're going away from whatever we were doing before. Maybe I'm not known as a house flipper anymore because I'm just buying grade A apartments.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I'm going all in on even bigger education and like, you know, doing like I don't know where my life's gonna lead.
And is your wife on board with the social thing? Does she like to do the social thing, or is she more behind the scenes?
She doesn't like make content and stuff, but no, she likes the social stuff.
Yeah.
It's not like she's like feels invasive or anything like that.
And the kids, will you ever get the kids involved? How old are the kids?
They're young. My daughter actually just turned 3 yesterday.
Okay, got it.
And my son's 4.
Yeah.
So they're young.
Yeah, they can't do it yet.
Yeah. I actually, you know, it's funny. My wife and I were talking about that yesterday. You know, you ever seen that kid, Ryan's World? He opens toys up. Like, he was he was the highest paid YouTuber at like 6 years old.
Oh my gosh.
This kid opens toys. He was making like $30 million a year.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, at 6 years old, opening toys. And I was like, you know, we could do that.
Dude, you know?
And I was thinking of like, how could we do this controversial of, you know, like he's opening up like normal toys. Like what would really make people mad? And I was like, what if like we did a opening, like a channel of them, of my daughter opening up like Louis Vuittons or something that's just like, why is this?
Yeah, they'll hate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey man, appreciate you being here. Thanks
Appreciate
for taking
you.
the time.
Yeah.
Ryan Panetta, make sure you follow him. Folks, if you are a person that has created the kind of success he has and would like to sit in that chair and have me interview you, reach out to my team, Annie at grantcardone.com. You guys on Twitter Spaces, thank you for listening to us today. Reach out to Ryan Panetta. He's on all the social platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. You're on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter.
You got to hit it harder though.
I know, I got to hit it harder.
Don't. It's going to grow, man.
Okay.
It's going to be a beast.
All right, I'm going to hit it harder.
That thing's going to it probably become a bank. Can you imagine? My bank is Twitter.
Wow.
Thank you guys for watching today.